Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Get Reelisms podcast, episode 35. You guys, we did it. We made it 35 episodes in. And you're probably wondering, why are we just only seeing Adam in this intro? What happened to the real talent of the fucking podcast? Relax. She's coming. Okay. We had a little technical issue. I forgot to record the first 5 minutes of the episode. My dumbass self didn't hit record. So yeah, I'm here to record an intro. Unless you caught the live show. If you caught the live show, congrats. You got an intro. Unfortunately, my dumbass didn't hit record. The one job I was supposed to do, along with being a co-host and scheduling the guests and scheduling the podcast and recording and, all that. It's fine. It's whatever. Today's episode, we have Johnny Elvis with us. Fantastic. An awesome guest. The first 5 minutes of the podcast, we talked about, before I talk about that, we've had a little bit of audio issues, couple of connection issues with this podcast. Christine is using tinfoil internet. It is ridiculous. No, I'm kidding. She's just been unlucky when it comes to having a steady, strong internet connection because she's working. Let's be honest, guys. She's working. She ain't got no time to deal with everyone's internet connections. Not like me. Just sitting here. I can fix my internet. And I do for a little bit, and then it just becomes shitty again. But that's neither here nor there. The first 5 minutes of the episode, we talked about Hawaiian cowboys and her documentary with Alison. Shout out to Alison Week. Last episode 34, in Hawaii. So we were talking about that the first 5 minutes and her time being on set with Alison. So without further ado, here's episode 35 with Johnny Elvis. Enjoy.
Yeah.
And then so many of them were born and was starting to destroy the Hawaiian landscape because they were eating everything and getting into people's business because that's what happens when cattle run amok. And so
kind of like the Hindus, and they just let cows run around.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like that. And then the monarch was like, "Oh shit, we made a horrible mistake. Let's go invite people from I think it was Texas that they brought the first.
Hell yeah,
yeah, and to Hawaii, and then they became the Hawaiian cowboys and had their own culture and the Paniolos, and they're still to this day." Still a big part of the Hawaiian culture. So
I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Neither have I.
Yeah. I gotta go check this out.
So so that's how there are Hawaiian cowboys, and they're badasses. And I got to see one of their more very important days was the branding day, which is when they've had like new calves and stuff, and they burn their skin off. And are like, hey, you belong to us now. You belong to this ranch type thing. So it was a whole thing. And let's just say the first time you see it for the first time, it's completely eye-opening and this super brutal feeling. But like that is a way of life.
I heard you never forget the smell.
I just visually was just shocked as you see the brand and you see it. And it's so fast. You see it and then something's on fire. You're like, holy shit, that cow is on fire. And then it's gone. And then you see like with the male cows, they're actually like castrating them as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
So they're like, and the dude's just doing it like no big deal. He's just like, cuts off the wiener and then like tosses it in some bucket and then like.
What do you guys want for lunch?
It was just like, if you haven't seen that.
They literally have a bucket of dicks.
They have a bucket of dicks. They do actually.
Big old bucket of cocks.
Yes, they do.
A whole, not a bag of dicks, a bucket of dicks.
Bucket.
Well, it's a bucket of
We're
dicks.
We're talking 3 times the volume here, John.
And then it becomes a bag of dicks, yeah.
So the precursor to bag of dicks is bucket of dicks now.
Yes.
That's something we know now.
Yes.
All right.
I think they... yeah. But yeah, that is what I got to see for like 2 hours. Like first few times it was like, it took me a while to realize what I was watching because I was so mesmerized by the cow being on fire.
Yeah.
Be like, wow, the cow's on fire. Wow, the cow's on. Wow, why is he bleeding so much from that part? And then like, and you know, they're like, I mean, it's so fast because they like rope the cow, they drag the cow, and there's like a whole wrestling match that happens. So they're like wrestling the calf down, and then somebody sits on this cow, like literally sits on them. So they like to calm it down. So it's like sitting while its skin is being burned off. And then you just see this person with like a knife and you just hear boop, boop, boop. And then you see something being thrown into like this little bucket. And then like, oh shit, then the cow has no dick. Like that's about how fast.
Is the whole dick or is it just balls?
No, it's like the little, it is the dick. It's very,
no dick.
Yeah, it's like
super barbaric.
It's like like this had to happen to like 20 cows before I realized what was going on. That's how fast.
So is that the going rate for a bucket of dicks an hour? Is 20?
20
20 dicks an hour?
That's how you know you're a skilled Paniolo. How many dicks can you cut in an hour? Yikes. Yeah, that was like unreal. Completely crazy. Like I did not expect that at all.
So
it probably is a bad sell. Like, hey, yeah, you're gonna come and do this documentary. You're gonna see a bunch of cows get their dicks cut off. Like, no. You know?
Yeah, I don't know if it's that bad. I mean, you know, I'm sure there are other fucking worse circumstances. You know, it's better than like going to a.
You mean the cow getting her dick cut off?
Yeah, it was very interesting. I learned a lot. Let's just say that it was interesting. Yeah. It was a unique experience. So yes, so that was what it was, and I watched a lot of that.
It's fucking wild, bro.
Yeah. So we did a whole branding dick cutoff party, and then
I have a question, bro. Are the cows still protected on Hawaii, or?
Like you can kill them now. Like they're a resource now. Like they're, you know what's something else I learned that was crazy is that the reason why it's so expensive to live in Hawaii is much like it is in Japan. So much of the stuff is imported.
Brought in, yeah.
Which is crazy because like Hawaii is a very rich, fertile land. And the reason why so much of the stuff has to be imported is because there's not enough demand to warrant building warehouses to process it. So do you know how they like process the cattle? They have to put the cows on a boat to Texas, have us motherfuckers in Texas kill them, and then send them back to Hawaii.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. How inefficient that is.
Well, I just want to know can I buy a boat to send cattle to Texas?
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like a very lucrative opportunity.
Right? It's probably a lot more sense than it is. But yeah, that's a thing. That's why it's so expensive to live in Hawaii, is because they just don't have the infrastructure to.
So they literally just ship all the cows out just to get the meat back.
Yes.
Right.
And do you think of it like this is like modern times? Like at least they can put it. Before they had to like swim the cows somewhere, and then like the Paniolos had to like fight off sharks.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Fight off sharks while they were trying to get the cows onto these like platforms in the middle of nowhere. Like it's
not gonna lie, I would pay money to see a cow get eaten by a shark.
It shouldn't be Sharknado. It should just be like that should be the thing. Like
they should have had you document
cow versus shark.
Yeah, fighting off cows while cowboying.
Yeah. Like that's it's like Aquaman with less steps.
Yeah. But that's how they used to do it. But yeah, put the Paniolos guys. Yeah. But it was fun. It was very interesting, and I did that, and then after I think we woke up at 5, and then we started shooting at 6, and then we shot till like 2, and then I was on a plane. Yeah.
You also got to enjoy a little bit of Hawaii though.
Oh yeah. I had a great time in Hawaii.
Yeah, but that's the thing with Christine. She can never truly enjoy vacation. She always has to find an opportunity for work, no matter what.
Yeah, but it's not work. Like you're writing.
No, I agree with you. But it's just funny that when you say, yeah, I'm going to take a retreat. It was a writer's retreat. It was just going to be her just focusing on the script, and then like as the week came to, it was like, yeah, I'm gonna be working on this documentary now. I'm like, oh,
Cool.
by the way, I'm getting an intense echo, and Facebook's hearing it too, and I'm hearing
Okay,
it.
cool. It's because, all right, we'll just try to go back to this other thing.
Well, just move your phone away from the computer.
It is away from the computer. All right, let's try this. Is that better?
I can still hear myself a little bit. Well, oh yeah, no, that's way better. Oh,
Okay, cool. All right, I was
like that.
The sound was clear off of the phone, so I was playing off the phone, but it still goes into the computer. Whatever. I just need to know not to play the sound off of the phone ever.
But also know something really cool on the Zoom chat. So you're behind the refrigerator, and I'm on this side, and it looks like we have two different screens.
Oh, it does look like we have two different screens.
But we're actually in the same area right
yeah,
here.
we're in the
Yeah.
same. We can. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Christine's in a
Somebody
separate
just made a
office than
comment.
John.
I think it's Kelly. Kelly says when she has free time, she just creates a new business. Actually, this is true.
Yeah,
This is quite true.
that's shout out to Over and Out Walkie Rentals.
Yes, which you see, you don't know, but there's like walkies everywhere in this house. So I'm actually at my business partner's apartment right now doing this. My business partner Carl, doing the
What up, Kelly?
podcast with Johnny. So yeah, you just have to seize it's all about creating your opportunities and seeing the opportunity and jumping on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no,
Why
it's cool.
Johnny and I are here together today because he's like, hey, you need to do more work.
Here's what we need to do today. I'm not sorry at all.
So as we all know, Get Reelisms, we created it because we wanted a way for people who are getting into the industry or starting in it or just learning to navigate the industry, a safe place to ask questions and learn.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've been creating, but just haven't had someone on my ass about, which is what Johnny is here to do, is light a fire in my ass, is create the actual class that goes along with it. So coming soon, guys, there will be some classes that will be pre-recorded that you can buy that's with our book about basically film set survival 101. So anybody who is their first time ever going on a film set, what they can do to stand out and be successful.
Or sometimes a refresher course. Sometimes you just need to, maybe you've been away for a little bit, COVID hit, and you're like, I haven't been on a film set in 7 months. I forgot what 10-1 means, and I really didn't take a shit. And is that 10-1? That's 10-2.
See,
that's 10-2.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
10-2 for the doo-doo. That's how I remember it.
Yes.
Yeah. Or I'll just, be a payadero and just like cut my dick off.
Right. Be a bucket of dicks.
Yeah.
Bucket of dicks.
But yeah, so we're creating that, and then there's another course for like actors who are wanting to basically control their career path by casting themselves in roles that they would want to do by creating their own content. So that's kind of like where we're looking at.
Yeah.
So we're today working together on
brainstorming
outlining it and everything. But yeah, Johnny's been kind of helping out behind the scenes with a lot of our just marketing for Get Reels and stuff, because if it were left up to me, none of it would get done because I'm being stretched too thin everywhere. So
well, that's the only speed Christine, is being stretched too thin.
That's true.
Johnny, how long have you been in the industry?
Shoot. I started in late 2011. Oh, hey, we all I feel like we all kind of found our footing around the same time.
Yeah, I just graduated high school, and
almost 10 years, man.
Yeah, almost a decade doing this. And I still hate actors.
So I want to ask you about that. Why is that? What's the?
I don't know, man. Like, so I think because I think it's because I've been in the game a little long enough to where I can see who the tryhards are, and there's a lot more tryhards than people that are just like okay with allowing whatever to happen, or people that are make themselves make stuff happen. And you can tell almost right away when you walk in the room who's a tryhard, who's not, who's who is just content with getting a bit piece off of just The Walking Dead. You got a one-liner, cool, congratulations. It's not going to be your whole career for the rest of your life, and you're talking about it every single day for the next 5 years.
Well, what's the definition of a try hard in your opinion?
Okay, so here's a good example. Say maybe for instance, you're like, hey dude, I saw you on that thing. Congratulations. And your next 45 minutes are shot because they're going to talk about being on set, who they met, taking pictures with this guy, and being in front of the camera and going to makeup for 10 minutes. And you're like, okay, cool, dude. I've been there. I've done that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Congratulations.
Whatever.
I gotta go.
You're doing your job.
45 minutes later. Yeah. Or like, oh shoot, I just got my first actor's gig. I was like, oh, what was it? Oh, I was a background actor for this production. I'm like, good buddy, that's fucking great. Or just like
I'm not actually on camera, but I'm there.
Yeah. Or they talk about the process when they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
Talk about all the great classes they take in. And I'm like, that's so cool, dude. I don't care. I don't care.
I think what you're also trying to say is that like the people who are busy doing stuff just don't have time to talk about it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I think that's the biggest thing. I think the people who are actually doing the work and doing it, we literally don't have time to talk about it.
Right. I mean, because you guys have better shit to do. You guys are creating something right there in the moment. It's not like you guys are, it's like this long, elaborate ruse where it's just like, oh yeah, well, this is my process and how I became an actor. Like as if like they're supposed to inspire other people, even though they themselves don't really know how they got in that position in the first place. They're just working to work just like you are. But they see it differently. They see it as if they are deserving to be there instead of acting like, well, no, I earned my keep. I earned myself being in this moment, in this set.
Yeah. I mean, I totally understand it from that perspective. Cause like there was a long time where I had like almost imposter syndrome where I was like,
yes, yeah.
Be over here, and that was when I was really deep into, oh, look at me, Johnny the actor. And it took quite a bit of time for me to get out of that. And over the course of that, I started resenting.
Right. Yeah, for some reason you're frozen on Facebook side. Oh. I don't hear anything. I don't see anything on Facebook. Oh, okay. Sorry, Facebook. Oh, well, now she's out of the room. Okay. Sorry, Facebook. She has a unstable connection, and yeah, it is snowing outside. Actually, it's been snowing
for a little bit. I'm on my phone landline for a little bit because I think the power just went out on the Wi-Fi.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
well, it's totally okay. I am getting a little bit of a not a like a skip, like a glitch. Oh no, now you're good. Now you're good. Whatever you did.
Cool. Hopefully we'll get better in a few when I feel like the other Wi-Fi will come back up soon. It's just, it literally was a quick power outage, and then I think it reset everything.
Little
So
brown out.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
snowing outside, so I understand.
why is it not snowing where you are? You're in Texas too.
Yeah, it is snowing. What did I say?
Yeah. Yeah.
I said it's snowing. I said I'm looking outside and
I
it's snowing, and then you're like, "It's snowing over there." I'm like, I know.
Okay, just making sure. I must have misunderstood. But
No, you're good. But we were talking
Yeah.
about tryhards and actors who
I feel
sort
like-
of,
I
yeah,
feel like everybody goes through it. Some people
Yeah,
don't
I think
realize.
everybody goes through it. I think that
Yeah.
issue that I have with tryhards is that they're so quick to criticize everybody else when they haven't done anything themselves. It's almost like you put other people down because you yourself don't feel like you took it, right?
Yeah, projecting a little bit. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can definitely see that.
Yeah.
It's been, like I said, it's been a journey for me, and like I'm recognizing it more, you know, as opposed to like 5 years ago when I first started getting more, you know, traction in my career. And what do you call it? I've been through a lot of ups and downs, and because of that, like I am a lot more empathetic towards it. At the same time, I'm not so much sympathetic towards it, if that makes sense.
it does make sense. Yeah,
Yeah. But you know, I mean, I'm not gonna fault someone for wanting to be an actor. I'm gonna fault you for, you know, just talking about it fucking 24/7. Like it's your life. And
It's your job.
it was
Yeah.
life 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Because there's a myriad of other topics to discuss. There's that, but also, yeah, it just you gotta remain true to yourself and keep it to yourself. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
yeah.
you sort of have to like, yeah,
Humility.
like unless somebody asks for advice, that's a different
Yeah.
story. But if somebody truly gives a shit, no one really does. I mean, I hate to say, not even me. I don't want to know about how this other guy got into set dressing or how this other lady, you know, moved across the world just to do art department. Like, that's a great story. Don't get me wrong, but it's one of those things where it's like, wait, you've been here for over 10 years and you're still talking about this as if it was like 3 years ago? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
There's a time and place for it. Let's just say
Yeah.
that.
There's a time and a place.
Like I said
Absolutely.
before, everybody goes through that. Everybody has that thing where it's still new and it's still like so like amazing.
see that too.
happened to them,
Yeah.
you know. But it's just eventually when you get a little older in it, it's like, okay, cool, something you do. Something you like doing and something you like showing off, but you don't have to show everybody and their dog there, you know.
Right. So how do you feel about like auditions as an actor?
I hate it and I love it at the same time.
Yeah.
Depends on my mood that day, I guess.
Right.
I mean, it also depends on the actual project. Like, say, for instance, like I go to audition for a like infomercial or like a, you know, industrial thing. I don't care about the actual product, but I care that I get to play a little bit. I get to have fun. I get to like exercise my mind a little bit and see what comes out. But I'm not gonna stress over it. I'm not gonna be getting nervous about it. You know, this is another day of the job.
Yeah, totally. And it's funny because like every time I hear anybody talk about an audition, it's always in a negative tone because it always feels like it's like hell. You know, I never myself went through an audition process, but I've seen, even working with you and other actors, like, yeah, people talk about the audition process sometimes is just literally a living hell, you know, and I never hear anybody give a positive opinion on an audition, except for if they got the job, of course.
But it's part of the process, though.
Yeah, like you know, like I said, like it's part of the job. Like your job is to be an auditioner, and sometimes the cherry on top is getting the actual role.
Right. Yeah.
You know, what do you call it? And that's like going back to tryhards. Like that's you always hear tryhards talk about auditions, whatever audition they went on, and like how they feel bad about this. And like, you already did it. It already happened. It's already
You're
past
here.
it. Yeah. It's already done. Leave it alone.
That's true, because you don't see even like actors who've done this for decades and know it like the back of their hand. It's almost like it's almost like another day at the job, like as if somebody's working at, I don't know, fucking Best Buy.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, we're just shooting this shit, we're talking shit, and doing our job. That's the whole fun of it. That's what I love about it so much, is commiserating with other people and congregating with like-minded individuals who are creative. And just like YouTube, everybody has their story and stuff, but sometimes it's only left to be desired. Maybe not not everyone should hear about your story. Not saying it's not a good story, but it's still nonetheless, there's a time and a place.
Yes.
There's a time and a place.
Brad says our audio is echoing. I'm sorry, Brad. It's because it's two of us right now, like together, so I can't use my headphones, or he won't be able to hear. So that's why it's like echoing, because I have to have one of the other audios on.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah.
And I see, Mr. Pinky Pants, that you didn't just automatically blame me for the audio issue. So I congratulate you. Okay.
It's my fault.
Listen, he didn't pin the blame on anybody. It could be me, but I know my internet connection is fire, and my audio is fire.
On one and turned all the audio on.
I was trying, but I can't seem to mute the one that's on. I don't know how to Instagram mute this, unfortunately. That's what I was trying to do, is figure out how to mute the audio on here coming out. But
I can't really hear that one.
It is up to you guys. We are approaching.
I'm gonna turn this one down just a little bit so that it like adds up into one big speaker. Who knows? Whatever. Hopefully,
we are at 30 minutes. Unless you want to go for an hour. Do we have an hour? Or we'll
go 45. Let's do 45.
Go 45.
Let's do it in between, just because John and I got work to do. Not that this isn't.
No, you hate
John
me,
and I
Christine.
have more important things to do. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, Christine hates me, and she was like, "Can you fucking do something with your life?"
I took time out of my birthday to be here.
Today,
okay?
yes, today's John's
true.
birthday.
Which is crazy. Like, the fact that you're here on your birthday means a lot, Johnny. So we appreciate you for joining us and stuff. But I do have another question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So when you did you always know you want to be an actor, or did it just sort of like fall in your lap somehow?
No. My uncle signed me up at the mall. I wasn't even there.
You guys signed up at the mall?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing. For like a TV show or something, or like a pilot?
No, it was believe it or not, it was for Barbizon.
What's Barbizon?
Barbizon is like the people at the mall say, "Hey, you should be an actor, you should be a model, sign up right here, pay us this much money."
Right.
And like, if it wasn't for it actually happening to me, I would totally swear it's a scam.
I thought it was a scam, because we had the same thing at my mall when I worked there, but it was called Star Card or something like that. And
there's a couple of them out there.
Yeah, it's definitely everywhere.
And they come to my mall all the time in California when I used to live there. And it was the funniest fucking thing, because you see like moms with little kids like signing their own kid up and stuff. It's crazy. It's something
like
wild.
I wasn't even there. My uncle signed me up and said, "Hey, you ever thought about being an actor or a model?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Fuck it, let's try this out." And
so you were on board. You were like, let's try it out and see.
Yeah, I was just dumb enough to say yes, and 10 years later, I'm doing it still.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they literally signed me up at the mall, and I found an agent shortly after that because of that. And like I said, if it wasn't for it actually happening for me, I would have sworn it was, a scam.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it just feels scammy, looking back, like some of this stuff was just really just like, and like I said, the best word I could say is just scammy. Like they build you up to like you could be the next biggest star, and play on your emotions. That goes in depth with like deep ingrained with anybody that like, oh, I can do anything type thing. And some people it's just not cut out for them, but it's also at the same time, why not try? And so I'm not going to knock it because I went through it. But at the same time, I will say it's very unlikely that were to happen.
Because it feels weird, especially that it's in the mall, right? Because
That's so weird.
Because
it's so cool that you
yeah,
got
it's
signed
also
up at
right
the
next to
mall.
like the sweepstakes to like own a car that's
Yeah,
in
or
the
like
mall
by,
and stuff.
Annie's pretzels or whatever,
Right
just
next
like,
to a Jamba Juice.
So what was the process? You got signed up and then what happened?
so I got signed up and they had me go to this audition in San Marcos.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Rockport at the time, where I grew up. And so me and my dad got a bus to San Marcos and walked like 3 miles to the conference center over there, the Embassy Suites. And I auditioned over there with like 500 other kids. And they asked me to, if I, they liked me and they asked me if I wanted to compete with other kids around the country for like scholarships and like, getting signed and bullshit like that. And I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. And like, they're like, yeah, well, it's $3,000 to get on the ship with us and to try it out. I'm like, okay, I didn't have $3,000 at the time, so I scrimped and saved and did a lot of odd jobs here and there to scrap up some cash and paid for it and got put on this Carnival cruise ship with like 1,000 other kids. And from there, we competed. I would do like monologues or like commercial script things and like walk a runway. And I'm 5'6" on a good day. I knew I wasn't going to be a model, And
on a good day.
On a real good day, yeah, 5'6", solid 5'6". Wear boots, 5'7.5".
That's what's up. That's what's up. I like that.
Yeah. But they what do they call it? They had at the very end of the cruise was called a callback day, and all the agents that had interest in you and like thought you were good, they talked with you, and you had an opportunity to talk with them more off the ship and possibly get signed. And
I see.
one of the agents on there, we had talked, and they're like, well, we're based in Texas, and that was the closest place I could be at without just uprooting and going to LA or New York or Miami, and I signed with them, dropped everything I had, moved to San Antonio, and started my journey. And then about a year later, I get on Under the Dome, and that was that. It was since then I've been acting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy story. It's actually
like I said, it's not like I said. If it wasn't for it actually happening for me, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. And I still don't actually recommend it to anybody to sign up at a mall. But I'm not saying it's all a scam, because obviously I wouldn't be here if it was.
It's crazy.
It's that old George Carlin quote for like comedians who want to be a comedian, and he was like, comedy is for everybody, but it's not for you. I just love that quote. It's like, you don't know how much it takes to become a comedian, much less an actor, because it does take really, really hard work and persistence.
I give more credence to comedians than actors, to tell you the truth. I give more credence to musicians than actors.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Because you could be a shitty actor and still get roles.
Yeah.
You can't be a shitty comedian and still keep on keeping on. Or a shitty musician. Like eventually someone's gonna figure out, oh, fucking dubstep sucks, bro.
Unless you're a TikToker, then you're getting like millions of hits.
Then you get all of it, yeah. But I mean, there's a niche for everybody. But
yeah,
like I said, you can't be a shitty musician and expect to keep on getting gigs.
Exactly. It's like almost any job.
You can be a shitty actor and get all the gigs. Look at Keanu Reeves. He is a horrible actor. Amazing stuff, man. But he just happens to be in great movies.
He's improved significantly, I would say.
Improve's a great way to say it.
Well, I mean, yeah, from like Bill and Ted to John Wick.
Whoa.
He's getting roles that cater to his inability to act well.
Yeah,
like I said,
I agree with
he's
that.
a shitty actor in great movies.
Apparently, he's
And
a
he has a
terrible
great
musician
set in
too.
it.
Mm.
I heard that somehow. I never heard his music, but apparently he's not a good musician.
I think that's Johnny Depp. He's a great actor, though. He's a
Right.
musician, though. He played
It's
with
just
like everybody.
he only knows maybe one chord and he plays it okay. Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Because it seems like you're much like I wouldn't say you're more than an actor, but I can say that because you do have that creative thing like Christine has, where it's like you have this imagination that does go wild from time to time. Do you feel like you have that creativity to do something more than acting, or do you feel like acting is just the way to go?
No, you're more entrepreneur. That's where you're.
I'm more,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I'm more of an entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
I'm more big picture stuff. Like if it's gonna help me make money, why not try it?
Right.
But at the same
Yeah.
time, like I do enjoy creating things. I enjoy the process of like sitting down and being like, this is in my mind. How do I get it out there? You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
I think there is a more so now than before. I think there is a special niche group of people who are entrepreneurial creatives. I think that should be a new like term. It's always been there, but like I think I'm finding more and more people who are extremely entrepreneur minded because entrepreneurship is a creative process. But are artists as well, but are finding ways to like
Yeah,
capitalize and market.
because I think that I definitely have a time limit on this on acting. It's something I love doing. Don't get me wrong, but it's not something that I'm in love with. I
Right.
love it. I'm not in love with it. So as with any relationship that you're loving but you're not in love with, there's going to be a time when you break up, and there's definitely a time when I'm going to hang up my acting cape or whatever it is. I haven't found it yet, but I know it's
Yeah, I
coming.
hope it's not soon because you're fantastic at your work, my man. I don't want to see you not working, you know. It's definitely great to see you, especially like when I watched Do Better. You were fucking awesome in it. You're great in it. So I I
Thanks.
hope I hope that continues in some way, shape, or form because it feels like you are yourself in a way, even though it is a different character and all this stuff and you're improvising
There's
and
a lot of
whatnot.
you in that character, though.
Yeah,
But your
I tend to
personality
play a
sheds
lot of my
through.
own stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's I think that should be in most acting. Like you find a way to where you can relate it to your own place, relate it to your own ego, um, and that's where it should be based out of. Even with like some crazy serial killer mindset, it's everybody has that somewhere deep inside with them, whether or not they believe it or not themselves. It's finding that part of you that maybe it's almost like even like a past life almost to where you're like, oh, I can find that deep, ugly part of me and bring it out. Or you can find like what I do with most of my humorous roles is just like, let me just be my same dumbass self and have a good time. You
Yeah.
know?
Because life is
Um,
way too short to keep it 100% serious all the time and work, you know? It's that, I mean,
Absolutely
it's,
not. Like
yeah.
you just, you become a grump.
Yeah, well, because I mean, if you like the movie or not, it's that old Shining bit, like in the towards the end of the movie, all work no play makes Jack a dull boy. That scene, like it does sort of have that weird sort of connection, especially when you are, isolated like where we are now during this coronavirus. It's very
Yeah.
easy to just shoot it off and say like, yeah, well, the pandemic, I can't do anything because the pandemic, this sucks, it's can't do anything. Whereas for people like you and Christine, you see opportunity more than obstacles.
Well, I think necessity is the mother of invention. Um, when the
100%
pandemic
right.
hit, like I was down and out. I had my last $100 in my bank account before the stimulus hit, right?
Right.
And so what I did was I started an online business, and it paid for my living expenses even before, the COVID stimulus check hit.
Wow.
But what do you call it? Like there will always be people, and I've thought about this a lot before. What the pandemic brought to the forefront was it showed people that can take care of themselves, and it also showed people that rely on other people to take care of things for them.
Ooh, I like that.
And I'm not speaking down on the people that relied on the government, relied on other businesses opening back up to get a living. But at the same time, that those are not people that I'm going to want to do business with. But it also showed me people that I never even thought would have had an entrepreneurial bone in their body actually rise up, pull themselves out of the bootstraps, and make stuff happen to make sure they got an income. And I think that's something that really is showing during this pandemic. Also, is like creatives as well, making art, making stuff that brings joy not only to them but to other people. Or it doesn't even have to be joy, but it brings out an emotion. Like I know this one guy, his name is Jet, and he makes these great paintings. He's been painting one single painting every day since COVID hit, and a lot of them are politically charged. A lot of them are this or that. They bring an emotion, but at the same time, it's an outlet for creativity that he might not otherwise have had time to do every day.
Without the pandemic, yeah,
but like it as bad as what's been happening has happened, it also brought a lot of really big, powerful changes in this world that I think will just have a ripple effect throughout for maybe 10 more years even.
So do you believe we're going to take this bad boy for a landing? We're about 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
Just to wrap it all up, it's kind of like a two-part question. First is, what is the best piece of advice you ever gotten? And the second part to it is, what can we take away from the pandemic? The best quality of the pandemic.
Okay. Best piece of advice. Nike. Or, what's his name? Shia LaBeouf.
Just
do it. Just do it.
Just fucking do it, you guys.
Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Believe in your dreams and conquer it.
Do it.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it's only a few simple words, but it means the most, especially during the pandemic, because now we have nothing but time to just do it.
You have nothing but excuses too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's also the other thing.
Yeah.
If you're like me and as a procrastinator, you got it. I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's always going to be excuses, and I think what separates people who have been doing okay during the pandemic and who haven't. This is minus if you get COVID and stuff like that. So this is separate from this, but is that there will always be excuses, and if you're one big walking excuse, you'll find another excuse, whether it's the pandemic or something else, But like the way I saw this time was, wow, the world has slowed down. I'm forced to slow down. What can I do during this time to slow down? And it was like getting some business started, working on stuff that I wasn't able to while I was been on set, writing, everything. I saw this as an opportunity, really. And so it's perspective. I think it's people who continue to succeed and continue to make things happen is because they're able to see things in a different perspective. And sometimes just changing your mindset is the difference between having a shit ton of excuses, not being able to get out of bed and do anything, and being sad and depressed, versus somebody who sees it as, oh, this is a time when I'm not crazy busy and I get to reconnect with friends. I get to, reconnect with some of my hobbies. I get to like reinvent myself / create and write and use this time to build and make myself a better version, so that when the world does open up, I am at my peak maximum capacity.
Some performance.
It's almost like what happened with the plague, the bubonic plague. Right after that was the Renaissance.
Yeah.
It's all about
people
art
were like,
and culture and
I
love.
am not dead. I have all the time in the world. I have, honed this skill, and now it's time to flourish.
Now it's time to paint a church.
Yeah.
16
It's perspective. It's all about perspective.
It's all about
So
perspective.
Just do it. Exactly.
Just do it.
Do it.
Just do it. Believe in your dreams. Okay, guys. Facebook, Instagram, believe in your dreams. We're gonna be taking this bad boy for a landing. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Instagram. We appreciate you.
Sorry for the power outage. Hopefully,
sorry for the power outage, but it's okay. There were some technical difficulties, but we're back on track. We're here. We're actually gonna be taking a week off next week, unfortunately. So no Get Realisms podcast.
Not
next
live
week.
podcast, but I did film another podcast this morning with Indie Darlings, Knives Moreau. So
you're not going to catch a Get Realisms with Adam, but you're going to get a little bit of that Get Realisms with Christine Chen. And let's be honest.
Wait.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
One more thing.
Uno
One more
mas.
thing.
No, what happened? Have it? Oh, yes.
Get your Get Realisms book.
Get
www.getrealisms.com.
Get
This is the part I'm
Realisms,
really bad
boy.
about. Yes. This is why remember to get your
Check out that
book,
background,
hone your
yo.
skills, use the time to figure out and come out of it.
And just do it.
Just do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. Facebook. Peace out. Goodbye. Oh, thank you, John. We appreciate yous.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully that worked out.
I hope you liked it. I
that
hope
week
you
long.
enjoyed it. I hope you had fun.
I had a lot of fun. So I was telling Christine, like, I'm notoriously bad at interviews. And
this isn't an interview, buddy.
I know. And I like this format because, like, it's just like, I'm not actually, the spotlight's not necessarily on me.
No. It's mostly, it's mostly on Christine and her shitty schedule. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, it's mostly an excuse for us all to just hang out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is, I mean, we talked about it.